Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the How to Script in Valheim series. Today, you're going to learn about chance, which is a simplified version of something else called wait. And these are some of my favorite features next to poking in Expand World Prefabs, so I'm excited to show you why they're so cool and how incredibly useful they can be. In today's episode, we're going to focus on chance. I'll be using a script that exists within Enigma Mode. You can find this script by going into the Enigma Mode folder and then going into beponex config and then expand world. From here, there's a folder called loot tables, and then we're going to be looking at this one here, expand prefabs _ loot. And this is a big file. I don't want to overwhelm you. We're only going to look at these entries right here. The rest of the file is essentially just hundreds of these in different situations. The main difference is the item that is dropped. In this case, it is copper scrap. If you look down, you can see that the other entries are for different things, such as silver ore, tin ore, and bronze scrap. And additionally, each entry has a different chance. All right? That's this thing right here. So what's going on? What is chance? Well, the simplest way to think of it is it's the chance for something to occur, okay? So here we have a chance of 0.03, which means 3% of the time this will happen. So what will happen? A ragdoll is created by most monsters in the game when they die. So by targeting the ragdoll component, you can target almost all monsters that die. This allows us to create general loot tables. As you can see here, this is for any ragdoll. But we could just use a specific ragdoll from a certain monster, or use that monster's destruction and do the same thing. And I bring that up because you're going to see that a lot of other scripters like to use value groups, which are these lists of possible items. And don't get me wrong, I love looking at those lists, it feels good. But I just find that in practice, it's better to be able to individually adjust every single item instead of having to keep track of how everything's grouped together. So that's why I make loot tables this way, instead of using like one long tier 1 loot table, if that makes sense. It allows us to adjust the specifics of things very easily. As you can see here in Enigma Mode, when a ragdoll is created that isn't the player ragdoll, there is a 1% chance that one bronze scrap will spawn. If you want to filter that further, you could adjust it so this only happens in the Black Forest. Or maybe you wanted to make it so, you know what, if you're close to the center of the world, it's not going to happen. Well, you could use min distance for that. And in doing this, we only adjust the outcome for this one bronze scrap entry, giving us a lot more fine-tuned control over where the loot shows up. So I'm honestly like addicted to using chance and wait in my scripts. I use loads and loads of different chances and waits because I can play and I don't know what's going to happen. I just know the things that might happen. I don't know how they combine and produce emergent experiences beyond my own design, you know, and that's what makes using chances and waits so powerful. But I'll save that more for later. Let's keep looking at chance to make sure you have a good sense of how it really works. Because it can be easily confused for wait, which is something that we're going to learn about in the next episode. But wait is actually a lot more complicated, but also incredibly useful, so don't underestimate it, okay? When you add chance to an entry, it's not going to compare that entry to other entries or do anything like that. This is quite literally a 1% chance for this whole entry to occur in the scenario where the entry is valid, all right? So I added this stuff earlier. I'm just going to get rid of it because I'll forget about it and then confuse myself later. Let's make sure you understand this number part here because it can be a little bit confusing. So 1% is expressed as 0.01, or the decimal value of 1%, okay? Because 1% is 1 over 100, all right? So for 100%, you would do 1. For 10%, you would do 0.1. And for 1%, you would do 0.01. Now that you know how it works in syntax, we can talk a little bit about how chance actually is used in scripts. In a case like this, it makes sense. Like, this is loot for when an enemy dies, so you can imagine that 1% of the time something will happen, right? I think that is an easier thing to grapple for other people. But let's look at a more complicated way to use chance. If you ever play Enigma, chance is actually in use all around you. Have you ever noticed how on the path there are these skulls that show up? Well, if you pay attention, the pattern they show up in is actually random. That's because it's just a chance. So if we pull up the scripts here, this is the main Enigma autopayler, so it's insane. Don't worry too much about it, okay? But we can see that there's this one part where there is a poke to roll a chance for the stability skull, and what does it say? It says chance 0.3. So, by now you should be able to read this. It's a good habit to practice converting the scripts into English or whatever language you use. So in this case, we can look at the prefab and the type. So we know that when a wood floor is poked with the poke called roll chance for stability skull, and the Y position is not above 1000, then 30% of the time, the rest will happen. Now, in practice, it's actually more complicated than that. Obviously, we have these banned objects, and there's some other things going on. But don't worry about that. Just think about it this way. Chance is the chance for that entry to happen. That's it. All right? If you want to support my work, then consider renting your own dedicated Valheim server to practice scripting on. Alternatively, you could like this video and subscribe to the channel. I've got regular EWP tutorials coming out to continue this course, and it will be regular until its completion. I don't know how long that will be, but I'm really enjoying it, and I love EWP, and I'm dedicated to make this a course where you can learn every detail about it if you have the patience to watch all the videos. That's why it's really important that I make sure each video is quite short, and I don't have that much of a chance to derail and go off teaching you about other things or ranting about anything. You know what I mean? Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!